This is Dave.
This is Reese.
And this is Manic Joy, a podcast about
life,
love,
and uncertainty.
Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 7 of Manic Joy.
Wow.
Quarantine edition.
Wowie,
That's
wow.
right. It's been a while since you've heard from us. And looking at the calendar and doing my magic math that I like to do so much. It's been 10 weeks since the last time we've done one of these episodes here for you.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, not necessarily because we haven't wanted to do an episode. More so just, I'll speak for myself, but I know is also likely for you as well. We've been busy. Busier, I think, across the family, actually, than we've probably been in non-quarantine days, strictly just from working from home, having lots to do with the business that I'm in. You're adapting to teaching from home, online classes, doing all of that. And it's just been the weekends when we typically record these episodes. It's been nice to just
not do anything.
Exactly.
Or go on some type of adventure in the car,
which has been fun. We've taken 2, which after we record this episode here today, we're going to head out and do our car pizza run.
Yep, it'll be our 3rd installment of pizza in the car.
Yeah, so we've taken a few trips just to get out of the house and try to keep from going too stir crazy. And let's see, where have we gone so far? We've taken a trip out. We've been planning these about an hour to an hour and a half trips.
Yep.
And we've driven out to...
We went to your old college.
We went to UMass Amherst.
Yep.
Went to Antonio's
Yep.
Pizza to grab some slices there. And then we sat in the stadium parking lot and we ate some pizza while we sat in the car. Then another time we went out to Rhode Island
for our anniversary.
That's correct, right? That was our anniversary pizza with the family, and we went out to that was Providence coal-fired pizza, I think,
something like that. Yeah.
And great pizza.
Yep.
And today we're going to take a ride out to Rockport and see what we can get out there, and sit in the car and eat some pizza on this beautiful day.
Yep. That's where we are right now.
That is where we are right now.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of weeks just adjusting to all of this. You know, there's been murder hornets and hurricanes and I don't know what else. What other cockamamie things?
The weather's been pretty interesting. I
wind.
feel like there's been wind.
So much wind.
There's been
wind.
Last night was a tornado warning. We've had snow.
Oh, there was snow in May.
Rain.
Which is great.
80-degree weather. All sometimes in the same day.
Right. And hailstorms.
It's been pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess let me start by saying this, or not starting at this point since I've already been talking,
right.
But let me mention this before we kind of go any deeper. Let's frame this all in one. I know I'm extremely grateful to be in the position that I'm in and the position that we are in as a family and whatnot. And most of the people that we know in terms of friends and family as well, is any complaining that we do here, we know that we're not in dire circumstances, right? Where many other people may be in situations where they're not as, I would say, comfortable as we are going through this particular pandemic.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're grateful for that. And, you know, I know we're doing the best we can to help out where we can, whether that means just staying at home or that means, you know, donating when we can and doing those types of things. But our hearts do go out to anybody that is, you know, really impacted in ways that we may not be. And our complaining here is, you know, just based on our everyday things, but in all honesty, I don't think we have a lot to complain about.
Really, I can't complain about much except for the dishes in the sink. I do make a big stink about that.
So,
but that just means that we have food in the
exactly.
fridge, and so.
So I hope you'll take, you know, our talking about this stuff in the spirit in which it's meant. That said, just from a mental state, this has been an interesting little trip, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I know, and I'll let you speak for yourself, but it's been quite a roller coaster if I'm really thinking about it. It's like a roller coaster throughout the day, too. I find getting out of bed is difficult during the week in particular.
Well, you were doing pretty good for a while. Like the first couple of weeks, you were getting up on time and either doing yoga first or just you would be up and out like normal and go and to your office in the dining room.
In the dining room, which is where I've set up shop.
Right. And my office originally was in the TV room, but I had to switch to the spare room because I was about to throw Milo out of the house.
So
he was driving me
the
crazy.
cats have been driving us all crazy.
They are
I
not
think.
happy that we're here.
I don't think they're happy we're here. I should say Peppa is probably not happy we're here. Milo is excited to see us, but is just a little too annoying for anybody's liking.
He's the only person I really fought with this whole time. I've been kind of cool with you.
Yeah.
The girls pretty much only come down to make fun of me for a little bit, and then they go and eat, and then they go upstairs. And the only person I've really fought with has been the cat. So I, again, can't complain about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, getting up every morning, typically I'm an early riser, and I try to get out of the house and get to work and do that. And it's just been, I find myself like really being exhausted at like 4:00 in the afternoon, and I'm like, then at that point I have to just stop. And so but like getting out of the bed in the morning, I've been like, all right, let's push this as close as we can to when I actually have to get up and do something.
You've got the Zoom fatigue.
Yes, Zoom fatigue.
Let's try to use as much as the
buzzwords
in this, so that when we listen to this next year, we can
flatten the curve.
We can. Since we're all in this together. And this is going to be the new normal, that's my least favorite one right now, is the new normal. Because if this is the new normal, then I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. I am out. I mean, I'm always a late. So the irony is that you're having trouble getting up in the morning, and I'm up by 3:30.
Yeah.
Pretty much every night.
Yeah.
That's when my bladder is like, hey, you've had enough sleep. You should wake up now. And I think, and then I try to go back to bed, but that doesn't happen. And I've been a few nights a week staying up in the TV room, and from 3:00 till about 5, I watch Seinfeld, and I found a renaissance, a Seinfeld renaissance.
Wow.
Erase that one.
Wow.
Delete that. Take that part out. I just found a new appreciation for the show. So I've been watching it and like kind of staying up, and then I'll sleep for an hour, and then the cats wake me up to eat, and then I'm up for the day. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
So that's an interesting topic. Quarantine shows. We've been enjoying the Netflix and such and other stations. I mean, we've gone through the Tiger King already, which I don't even know what to say about that at this point.
Well,
I'm excited that there's going to be
Carol Baskin.
I blame it on Carol Baskins. There is going to be a movie apparently with Nicolas Cage playing the Tiger King,
great.
which makes
I'm all for.
It's like sweet poetry. Yeah. It makes so much sense on many levels.
Yeah. Ozark.
The new season of Ozark was fantastic. If you're watching that show, we watched Waco, which was really, really good. I thought.
Really good. Yep.
My show has been Top Chef.
Yep.
I've been enjoying that thoroughly because I've never watched that in the past, actually. So what are we on? We just finished season 12, I think, which actually took place in Boston. So I'm
Gronk was on there.
Gronk was there.
Yeah, so Dave's been top chef all the time, and so for our anniversary, I got him a chef.
Oh, you did
jacket,
which was very nice.
With
Thank you.
The hat, and he's been wearing it to cook his delicious meals.
Top chefing it up.
Yep.
Maybe that's some good news to share. I thought this is actually interesting. That will show the ramifications or what this quarantine has been doing to our mental states. So during this, I had my regularly scheduled blood test, my blood work. So I had to go in for that, which was interesting, right? Any type of activity is really completely different from anything you've experienced in the past, now. Right? It's exhausting, and it's not. None of it is fun.
No.
It's just those experiences that were like something that you really enjoyed, or just not.
Well,
They're
just jumping in the
high-intensity
car and
experiences,
going to
yeah.
Target is exhausting.
Yeah.
And the girls don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons why I do enjoy our little road trip things, because we're in the car, we listen to music, and we have fun with you, and we don't have to deal with anything. And what's nice about a lot of this, like the pizza stuff, they come out, they throw it in the car, and then we drive away, right? And so we don't have to actually do any of the modifications. And so, and even on that, my heart goes out to all of these business owners. Like, that's the one thing about this, that it's been a little bit crazy.
But you know, the ones that are able to keep their businesses going and you know, doing what they can, just keeping their staff safe and the customers safe with the masks and the gloves and whatever. And as long as they're able to adjust and make it work, I mean, that's great. I feel horrible for those who can't do anything right now, you know. But I go back to the doctor's appointment.
I went in to give blood to get that checked in, and then luckily I got a call from the doctor's office a few days later that said, hey, you don't have to come in for your scheduled appointment since he's a doctor. You can actually do an online appointment. So I did my very first online visit, which was not without technical difficulties. Our doctor could not actually get the audio to work, so I was able to see her, and then she had to call me on the phone, and we talked to each other over the phone while we looked at each other. But I think I've mentioned before, you know, we started a sugar detox in January. That's when I initially got my results, which were not very good in terms of cholesterol. I think I don't have the information in front of me. It was like 370 something in my total cholesterol. My bad cholesterol was really high as well. And so, as you can imagine, not good. And so I'm typically pretty good at hiding stress, but that's been weighing on me, right? Waiting to find out how I've been. So since the sugar detox, I've modified my diet completely. I've went whole food, plant-based, so haven't been really good with that. So I've been cooking a lot of things on the whole food, plant-based stuff, and doing that. I've lost tons of weight.
Doing this without the medication.
Well, that was the big thing. I was put on medication, but then I took it for like 5 days, and I didn't like the way I was feeling. I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. And so there was that kind of reveal moment too, because I was nervous about that, because like I had stopped the medication. And so, the doctor was like, so how have you been doing? And I was like, well, I've been doing really great. I've changed my diet completely, blah, 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 blah. She asked how's it going with the medication. And this was the first time I told her. I was like, well, I actually haven't been taking the medication. I took it for about 5 days. I didn't like the way I was feeling.
So she must have been shocked.
Well, she was like,
when she saw your numbers.
Yeah. So then she said the big reveal. She's like, well, I have to commend you, keep doing what you're doing, because your numbers have gone down. So I was at like 370 something total. I went down to 200. And then my bad cholesterol went down to 122. So I still have a little bit to lose there. But the best my numbers have been for the last 5 years. Even before they got really high, when I was trying to like bring things down, like they were, this is the best that they've ever been. So that was just like a huge relief. Yeah. And so I had that appointment early in the morning. Reese was sleeping out on the couch, I think still from one of her early morning wake ups. Yep. And I just had like a breakdown of some sorts, I suppose, that I just was just like really relieved and just like thankful, right? Because the reason I'm doing this is, when you unpack all of that, it's like I want to make sure I don't have any issues, so I'm here for you guys and all of that. So that was all wrapped up into it. This whole the stress around this coronavirus thing going on, and then just being able to be excited and relieved about that.
Just nice to get some good news.
I just had a moment where I just broke down, and I was like, Reese, I need you to wake up.
Totally woke me up out of a dead sleep that I had been longing for, and was weeping. Academy Award winning.
I was a bit of a mess, but a good mess.
But
it was
mess.
It was just like a thank goodness, So excited about that. In the next week we've got our friends group, our Biggest Loser competition. So I'm actually in contention for winning that too,
Yeah.
which has been great. I mean, I've lost about 20, a little over 25 pounds through this whole thing too, which has been great. So anyway, that was good news. Was excited about that. What else has been going on, Reese? How are you doing? What have you been adjusting to here?
Well, it's funny because you did this great thing, and actually in January, before all this started, I was doing great with the sugar detox. I was like doing awesome, not drinking, just watching what I was eating. I was like killing it. And then my therapist was like, I don't think you really need to come here anymore. It sounds like you've got it all taken care of. Like, you sound like you got everything in control. She's like, I'm so proud of you. It's so great. And then, then this happened, and I tried to like get in touch with her, and then she was like MIA. But then she got in touch with me when she sent the bill from the 3 different appointments where she told me I was doing great. So yeah, kind of, did I fall on the wagon, in the wagon? I don't know. Drinking in the wagon, just the wagon is full of whiskey, and I've been drinking it.
in whiskey.
Yeah. So whiskey's been my friend. Drinking at the beginning, I was like, there was like one point where I was like, I had leftover whiskey on my nightstand, and I had to take my vitamin because you want to stay healthy. And I took my vitamin with the last drop of whiskey, and it was like 8:00. I'm like a.m. I'm like, all right, that's the new normal. I hate that. And but then I definitely I'm back. Like, I'm getting back
You've leveled out now, which is good.
I've leveled out. I was really a hot mess when this whole thing went down. And then, but I've been good. It was really difficult turning 4 public speaking classes that were not meant to be online and make them online. Half my students disappeared. I had to really try to track them down. I had to do a lot of, like, figuring out how they can get, Zoom is a big thing. The Zoom, like... I would have never heard of Zoom until this, and so Zoom has been great, like, with my classes, but also with, like, friends.
Yeah.
Like, literally yesterday at 2:00 in the afternoon, FaceTiming with, all, like, the FaceTime, Zoom, what's the other one, Google Hangout. And I've been talking to my best friend, Ruth Ann. Sometimes Stacy, if she's around, the 3 of us will get together and talk. But, like, every other day on FaceTime. And it's like, normally we wouldn't get to do that. And, like, that type of interaction has been really important. And then sometimes you're doing that at 2:00 in the morning with people and just talking and commiserating. And that's been very helpful, to say the least. And then, I figured out how to do the thing with my classes so that I had 2 new classes that started in May. And I was able to resolve my other 4 classes for the spring, and then started my other 2 classes for May. And, like, I'm like a remote learning master at this point. It's, you just got to adjust. Yeah. You got to adapt and adjust.
It's always interesting watching you go through your phases with this stuff. I mean, you have a very high anxiety-ridden freak out in the early stages of getting all of this stuff together, and then you do it, you get to that point, and you kill it.
Yeah, and I level out.
And you level out, but yeah, it's
I'm
that
very, like,
high intensity zone is pretty intense.
Well, because I grew up in a house where they did not discuss things, like they held a lot of stuff in, and I found that to be counterproductive, and it doesn't make you, it messes with your mental and your physical capabilities, and I'm not like that. I'm very much like, it's pretty obvious what I'm feeling in the moment that I'm feeling it. I don't really disguise my emotions very well. So, like, this pandemic, like, frightened the shit out of me. Like, it really scared me, and I wasn't just scared for myself. It was more like I was worried about the girls, and and what was going to be going on. And, my brain goes 20 steps ahead instead of just staying in the moment. Yeah. And that's what I did the first 2 weeks. But they call that trauma. So the first step is just grief and being scared, and then grief, and then coming to terms with things, and then, leveling out. And that's kind of where I've been, because it's one thing to know that you have to do this certain thing for a certain amount of time. Yeah. And then be told, well, you might have to do that for a little bit longer, then a little bit longer. So like we went from a 2-week quarantine to now it's been 10 weeks.
Yeah.
With no end in sight, which is fun. So, so my thing, I mean, the Netflix and all that stuff is fine, but now the weather's getting nice. So now we're going to think about, what are we going to do for the summer?
Well, I mean, again, another situation where we're blessed with a lovely backyard. I was out mowing the lawn today. That was fun. Hopefully we'll open the pool a little sooner than we would, so we'll have the pool to go into. And
if it doesn't snow again.
Yeah, I know, exactly. If it's not tornado, thunderstorms, and
murder hornets.
Murder hornets outside. But, again, we're not in dire straits by any means, and so that's good. It's unfortunate because we are people that are very friend driven, as you know, if you've been listening to us at all. Oh man, we miss you guys so much. And
It's
I feel sorry
stupid.
we want the girls to be able to see their friends. I mean, they've been doing the FaceTimes and all of that too, which has been great. And we've been trying to do the drive-bys and having them drop off
Actually,
things.
the drive-bys
Those
took
have
on
been
a
great,
great
yeah.
new terminology during this
Actually,
stuff. Because in the 90s,
that was
a
not a good-
drive-by
that
was
not a
real
good thing.
different.
Yeah.
It was real different. But today, when you're like, hey, want to go to a drive-by? Like, all the
hell
white,
yeah.
all the white people are like, yeah, I want to do a drive-by. Like, we're so excited about it. So that actually has been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I had I had my birthday, and usually my birthday is a big deal, and I like to have a party celebrating me, and that didn't really happen. But you know what? It's definitely a birthday that I will remember. It was full of all sorts of unique.
What did we do?
I wanted corned beef sandwiches.
Oh, that's right. We did the corned beef. We made the Reubens.
Yep, we
which
had
were
Reubens.
really good.
Johnny made me a gigantic
Cake?
buttercream cake.
Yeah.
Emily drew a U2 song picture for me that I wanted her to do. And then we did the front porch portrait with money being donated to Acting Out Theater. And we got to get all dressed up, which was nice. Little things like that have been, you just got to make the best out of what you can. And I think this summer is going to be kind of the same thing. Because I can't not see my friends.
I know.
I'm going to lose it, man.
So, yeah, as you can tell, we miss you dearly all.
Yeah. Bummed out that we're not going to have the Lambdons, the Fuller Lambdons and the Burls.
The New York crew,
yeah,
too.
the New York crew coming to visit.
Let's see. It's still early. Let's see when we get there. But hopefully things will, as always, we hope for things to start to move in the other direction sooner than later.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else you want to cover here? Well, what else have we been doing? Oh, you know what I thought was actually a lot of fun? Last Friday? We had a few drinks. We were in our record room and we listened to Achtung Baby.
Well, I listened to Dave sing Billy Joel for about an hour.
Well, was that the same night?
That was the same night.
Oh, was it? Wow, lucky you.
That's
an action packed.
It was a treat.
So we had some
for the ears and the eyes.
I did some karaoke. And then we got into listening to Achtung Baby,
which
was just turned into
great.
like a.
Then I started dancing.
Like a 90s dance fest, which was great.
Rave. The girls came downstairs for 2 seconds and they were like, "Nah."
Well, they came down.
After I went to bed.
After you left, the girls came down and hang out with me, and we listened to some music
as well. If I have too many drinky poos, I'm like, I need to go relax. And then I passed out. And then that wasn't the night that I was looking for the YouTube video in my sleep.
Oh, well, so that was quite an interesting thing.
Was it that night?
I don't know, but this was the best. I came in. It might have been that night, because maybe.
Because then Dave had some quality time with the girls. They came down
we
and
hung
they
out.
were laughing and having a ball, and I was like, oh, and I love hearing them laugh and sing and bond. It's my favorite noise to hear, especially during these times, because I worry about them so much. Finding joy through all of this because it's kind of difficult. But then I guess I passed out. Don't remember any of this. And then the next morning, go ahead.
So I'm like, so I went into the bedroom And I lay down and I look over, and Reese she's like laying on her stomach, and she's got, her head on the pillow, and her hand is next to her face on the pillow, and she's like punching in stuff onto the pillow and like swiping the pillow.
Like Minority
and like
Report.
I'm like
the best.
I'm like, how you doing over there? And she's like, huh? I'm trying to open up YouTube. And I'm like, all right, you enjoy yourself. And then you just went back to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I looked over, and then you start doing the thing again.
I was trying to find some vines.
And then I was like, do you remember last night when you were like, no? And I'm like, okay, yeah, you were just like in your sleep.
Recollection at
Minority.
all.
You were like Tom Cruise in Minority Report over there, like trying to open up your pillow.
I have to tell you so The Office is my favorite show ever. And the first month I couldn't even watch it because for some reason it made me sad. And I don't know why. So to not listen to the news or anything else, I watched a lot of Vines, which are like my favorite thing, and they always have been, but for some reason they're very comforting. And so I go on YouTube and I watch Vines. I watch clips of comedians. I've been watching a lot of like Gaffigan and Maniscalco and what's our other guy? Mulaney.
Okay.
And so that's been kind of keeping me, even though we watched all of our shows, but like that type of stuff, I don't know, like quick clips of funny things have been really helpful during this for me. That kind of got me through a lot of the times where I felt like I couldn't shut my brain off, and then I would do that. My new thing now is kind of like talking and making sounds in my sleep, because I've woken myself up a few times where I'm sleeping and then I'm like, oh, like I make like a weird noise, and then I wake up and I'm like, who was that? And it was me. And I'm like, okay, weird. I think it's because I'm not 100% fully asleep. So that's been like the worst part of this whole thing, is just my sleeping, besides my drinking, which is not that bad, but my sleeping is just awful. Like I can't wait to, I don't know, like figure out how to shut my brain down and really get some good sleep, because if you don't do that, I mean, that's like,
I've been sleeping fine. It's just the getting up has been rough.
Yeah, well, you pass out and you stay out. Like, I don't know how you don't hear. I've dropped things. I choked one night. I always have water or something.
I just ignore it.
I know. I think there was one I've been choking on my saliva like it's my job. And there was like one day where I was in the bedroom.
How did she go? She choked on her saliva.
Yes, I thought this is it. And I was like, I'm coming, Elizabeth. I just threw in that old school.
That was very nice.
Thing there.
Very nice.
But Sanford and Son. But I'm like, I don't know. The choking on my saliva has not been fun. I don't know why I'm talking about that either.
You're doing great.
I'm doing real good.
So, listen, did you have something else? You were going to say something else?
Because I was going to say, I don't know what's going to happen when we're going to go back into society, because I can't have a normal conversation. I just talked about how I choked on my saliva, so I'm going to be fun at parties.
We'll be fine. We'll have a little. We'll introduce people to you slowly, so you can acclimate back into society.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Honestly, guys, we just wanted to kind of get on here because we know it's been a while, and we've been wanting to do one for quite some time. We just haven't really found that we haven't made it a priority, just because we've been enjoying the weekends off and trying to be with each other as much as possible. We hope you're doing the same. And I think we'll get back into our regular routine maybe next week. So you can, if for those of you guys on the email list, I'm sure we'll get a call for questions coming up soon.
Please,
we'll figure out what these next 3 episodes will be that we had originally planned on. We'll figure that out, and we'll get back to doing this. But we got to go get some pizza.
Yeah, we have to go for our
little car pizza
adventure.
So please do reach out. Let us know how you're doing. We hope you are all well. You and yours and loved ones are all safe and healthy. Please do, as always, subscribe. Leave us a review. Let us know what you think. Make sure you get on that email list if you are not already, so you can send in your questions for us. Friends, we miss you dearly. Life is a group project. Be kind to each other.
Word.
We got the right stuff. We put the hammer right down. Wanna be like us.